It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Believe it. I missed everything.
Miss the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
For me, it happens every morning. I get to a red light, and it sits for like 3, 4, sometimes 5 minutes, and I'm always afraid to go because I don't want to get a ticket. But I see a lot of people sit there for about 30 seconds, look around, and then go. Is it really legal to do that? That was a big question this morning in the Playhouse. You're going to get the answer in a couple of seconds as we start the podcast now.
Bingo! How fun!
Last week, someone lost an eye at bingo.
Bingo.
Bingo what bingo? Bingo!
This morning, Kat would like you to call if you're somebody listening who
has been to a famous house and you took a photo. You could send it to us if you want to, but this video going viral. The owner of the Breaking Bad house is just so sick of people coming by and just kind of loitering. You know, she's okay with a random picture, but she started spraying them.
Like me, because I'm not a Jack Mormon.
Yeah, get him, Joanne. Get him, Joanne.
Have you seen anything else but Breaking Bad stuff since you've been here? You can take a picture from that corner. Do not get close. And no tripod, no nothing. Just quick snap. One picture, then you go.
Take it easy.
Calling the shots. It was that guy that owns the brownstone of Carrie Bradshaw, and he was kind of going crazy because people were like going up to his door. You could take pictures and stuff saying that you were there, but it's still someone's property. But it went on the market for $4 million in January. And this house is just nothing to look twice at. So she's only making the $4 million, obviously, because it was on Breaking Bad.
Is it in New Mexico, the home? Right? Because that's where the Breaking Bad is based, right?
I think so, yeah.
Jeez, that's a big time spend.
I know.
Like, why wouldn't you just be smart and put a bucket out there and say free donations? That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Take as many pictures as you want. Just put a $20
$1 a pick.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm on the hunt for anyone listening who has had a summer completely ruined. My dad would tell me the story, usually before every summer, about how careful you got to be. Because I'd always play on a couple of different baseball teams, but he was telling me that he was 16 and he was a catcher in a game. And this was when baseball was still a little bit more violent, and he got completely bowled over in the first game of the season and broke his femur.
And then he was out.
The entire, he said, I sat in the house the entire summer.
Bummer.
Like he didn't have a mom or a dad that was going to drive him to watch his friends play and couldn't drive because he had a stick shift and it was his left leg. And he's like, I sat in the house for an entire summer. So I'm looking for anyone listening who had their summer completely ruined. Good morning, David. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Good.
Thanks for calling the show. Which one do you fit?
Oh, I've definitely had a summer ruined. I got a story right now I'm thinking of.
Let's go. What do you got?
Tell us.
Yeah. Good timing.
I got summer I graduated high school. I got a minor consuming alcohol, and you know it's hard to enjoy drinking when you got caught right at the beginning of the summer.
So what was the reason why you were out all summer? Your parents were like, you're never going.
You're grounded?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no. I didn't get grounded. I got caught drinking. Then every other time I would drink during the summer, I'd, just have PTSD of when you got caught.
Oh, you were afraid of getting caught again.
So you policed yourself.
Yeah.
Well, you're a stronger man than me. If that would have happened to me in high school,
Right?
I probably would have went after it again.
All my friends got minors. It was so weird. I don't know if I just had the good Lord on my side, but I very rarely drank. Maybe once every.
My friends didn't get them until we were in college, and then it was just because we were the ones that weren't going to run from the cops at a house party.
See, my friends were so dumb. Like they'd party at like an abandoned RV lot and just go sit in the RVs, and the cops would show up, and then they'd run across the highway. And
so your summer was ruined because you got caught drinking early, and you didn't want to get caught drinking again.
Correct.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, because you can't have fun without booze.
Not true.
Exactly.
All right, listen to this guy.
You guys
All
are
right.
idiots.
Thanks,
All right.
David. I appreciate it. I'm probably not the best at giving you credit, but I will give you credit on the fact that we've worked together for a long, long time.
And I'm still alive.
Well, and the fact that I've never heard you say anything really judgmental against people. I know you hold judgment out and you're not prejudiced against,
I just don't like stupid people, and so I'll make fun of stupid people, but like...
You've shown your disdain for other classes like redheads.
That's true.
Multiples.
Yep. They're creepy. Mm-hmm.
Left-handed people.
God.
And vegans, just to name a few. That just came off the top of my head. The reason I brought the vegans part up is I have several friends that are vegan, And at any given time, I have seen them drinking a Diet Pepsi.
And they didn't know that
Diet
there were
Pepsi
animal products.
is not vegan.
Ooh.
Now,
See, vegans do their research, they do their homework, and then they tell everybody about it, even though we don't want to know about it because we're not vegans.
if you're vegan, you can't have the Diet Pepsi. Pepsi will not say what animal ingredient is in there, but there is an animal ingredient in your Diet Pepsi.
So that means it would be a huge turnoff if they did say what the ingredient is.
But they say it's not vegan. They're just not saying
But it's
what
from an animal.
Right.
So
No, I don't. That's
it
not
could
that.
be.
You can't make that gesture.
We're
That's
not on camera.
But they say it's commercially sensitive information.
it's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. It's like Red Bull.
From what?
It's like Red Bull.
From what animal?
Red Bull has that. Don't you
Red
know
Bull
that?
has.
Absolutely.
Shut the hell up.
Google it. Google it.
From what, a bull? Is it really from a
I
bull?
saw the luggage and the plane ticket and put 2 and 2 together. Yes, it is. You are gonna be so
No,
surprised.
Red Bull does not contain it. First,
What did you?
I said, does
where?
Red Bull contain semen?
Oh, you said it.
That was the very first thing I put in there, and it says, no, Red Bull does not contain it. It is not derived from bull semen. It's synthetically produced amino acid that is also found in other...
Now you have it in your search.
It's my laptop. I don't care. But I just thought I'd let you know, if you are vegan or a friend that is vegan is in your circle, they can't have the Diet Pepsi. Now, I didn't do my research. I didn't look whether or not Diet Coke has any animal byproducts in it, but I would guess they're kind of along the same lines. So my hunch would say Diet Coke probably has some in there.
Yeah. Unspecified ingredient.
Right?
Not suitable for
You
vegans.
learn something new every day.
They would have been able to say it was, I don't know.
Is there a soda that's vegan, or do you think all colas have some kind of
An ingredient.
animal byproduct in them?
So it has some gelatin derived from animal bone.
There it is.
So not as sensational as I thought it was going to be. So what do you think was, if you think back 100 years ago to your high school years, what was the fondest memory for you? Like, what did you love about high school? Was it the socializing?
Yeah,
Was it?
we always had a situation where if we had a study hall and you didn't really have anything to do, you could get a pass, you go down to the library, and that was kind of the communal hangout.
Yeah.
And they'd have the newspapers on the big bamboo sticks and magazines. And I really got into, I know this is a nerdy thing to say, but when I was like a sophomore in high school, the seniors, all the cool seniors played chess during their study hall.
Oh,
And so
okay.
I got really into playing chess. And I just, that was it. It was that communal hangout thing during the periods you didn't have anything really going on. For me, that was it. I mean, I loved being an athlete, and, you know, you had friends everywhere, but it was that when I think about it, when you said that was the thing. I want to go back to study hall in the library, just hanging out for an hour.
That sounds fun. So this audio came out today, and this high school ended the year by releasing some of the bloopers from their student-run TV station. And I just thought it was super cute.
Driver's Ed fall and winter classes are now open for registration. EPHS is pairing up with Safeway Driving School to offer future teen drivers classes after
giggles.
school.
I think we should bring it back. Concert is an annual fundraising event. This year, all the proceeds are going to support refugees and immigrants throughout the state.
Did you guys do a TV station in your high school?
And that's what I was going to say, one of our fondest memories, because you got a press pass. And if you wore the press pass, you could go wherever the hell you wanted, because you were either on a scoop or you were going to record something. You know, you were official, and no teacher bothered you. And it was like, it was just fun. You know, you got to go be creative and then bring whatever story you had that week to the air, and everyone would see it. Tornado TV is what it was.
Okay, we had Tiger TV.
Okay.
For the Belle Plaine Tigers, and ours was a once-a-week broadcast. It would always run on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. on our cable access.
Yeah.
And it would be a 30-minute show, and there would be 2 music videos. And those were the most fun times, because you'd get to pick one of your favorite songs and create a music video for it. But then we'd have news, and we'd have our students of the week and our athletes of the week. And then there was always a teacher interview, and those were fun too because
That's so cool.
You got to say their first name.
Yeah.
You would be like,
"Hello,
well,
Eleanor."
Yeah, hello. Yeah, right. Hi, Margaret. How are you? And they would look at you. We were supposed to call her Miss Hoffman or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you get to ask her, well, tell us about your family. Oh, where'd you grow up? Why do you like teaching here so much? Who's your favorite student? You know, you'd get to ask them any question you wanted. We'd put together this 30-minute thing, but it was always really polished by the time it hit the air. So I'm sure there's a blooper reel somewhere. But yeah, those were good times. I remember doing that.
Yeah. If you have a highlight from high school that you'd love to throw out there now that school is out for the summer and you're just kind of wanting to be a little nostalgic. It was just and hanging out in Main Commons was so cool. Like everyone would get there in the morning, you'd see what everyone was wearing, you'd go get your latte from the Decamart. You know, it was just kind of like
you guys were posh.
We had a good school. So
it's such a bad thing when you said hanging out before school because I was always there so early for detention.
Yeah.
And our first bell would ring at 8:30 in the morning. That was the first class. But I'd get out of detention at 8:20. So I'd always have to run all the way across the school to try and hang with my friends. But there was never, I always had the best parking spot at school because I was there at like 6:45 because detention would always start at 7 and I have to try and get all my stuff together. But man, like I kind of forgot about that. Like I missed 2 good years of hanging out with my friends just because I was juvenile delinquent for that long time.
You haven't stopped smiling since we started talking about this. Still fun times, even though you had to show up and your hair was probably like matted from sweat and
the worst. The worst was like you were so awake at that time and you had friends coming in with a cup of coffee or a soda or an energy drink and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm so tired." I'm like, "I've been here for 2 hours." Like this really blows. Good morning and welcome in. You got the Playhouse on 103.1 Radio M. It's Cat and JJ. And what is trending?
A teenage baseball player in New Mexico who urinated in a jug of water and then 13 people drank out of it has had the charges dropped.
In New Mexico, battery consists of the unlawful touching of another person in a rude and insolent manner. So in this case, we don't have any touching of another person. New Mexico doesn't have a statute that makes it criminal for someone to mess with someone else's food or pee in a water bottle.
Still, I mean, this guy hated the opposing team so much that he peed in their Gatorade jug.
You know, Liam has amazing friends. He has a couple that, you know, I tell him be on guard. They're a little naughty, but they would never even do this. I wonder what that child was thinking.
This kid
13.
This is not an original thought. He was told by someone else. You know what would be funny, Jimmy? If you pee in their Gatorade jug before they get here. I guarantee somebody else told him to do it. That's not an independent thought.
Keep those talks going, the dialogue open, parents, because they need it. All right, so America has voted on its favorite style of a pasta.
I love pasta. It's my favorite thing to eat.
Yep.
Any way you serve it to me, I will think that it's a treat.
And it turns out that spaghetti is the most popular pasta in the country, followed by, very closely, penne pasta. So... you like a good cavatappi? You like a good linguine?
I don't know what cavatappi is.
It's like the corkscrew one.
Can't you just call corkscrew? Why do you got to be so fancy?
Because there's actually a corkscrew. So I'm just saying it's like a fatter corkscrew.
I like the bow ties a little bit.
Oh, you like a good bow tie. Okay. Yeah, I do.
Hey, does going on like an African safari...
Yes.
That's something big to you? You'd like to do that sometime in your life?
On my bucket list. That would be incredible.
I hadn't really had the desire to do it until Gretchen, our friend Gretchen, had gone on one and then showed us all these pictures about how close she got to all these giant animals.
You just sit in that Jeep and you just watch them in their natural habitat. And you can never have that experience unless you're there.
I got to be in the Jeep, though. Either the one that, and I'm not even good with the one that's 8 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I think a cheetah can jump in there.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be in the cage one, the one that they use for SWAT teams and stuff like that. I just want there to be zero chance that I'm eaten by a large animal.
So the two on Love on the Spectrum, where they are just in love with any type of animal, they made that happen for themselves. They went on this beautiful vacation. They went with their mom and their sisters and stuff. And there was this resort that they stayed at that overlooked the land, like a scene out of Lion King. And they sat in these bathtubs, you could fill up the bathtubs and just sit there. And their arms were sticking out and they were just eating candy, looking at the desert. It was so
I don't
cool.
know if I need that kind of pampering.
No,
but I did
that's
read
on my
this
bucket
morning
list.
that, so if you go and you see like a wild elephant,
Yeah.
they'll grow 5 pair of teeth. Or actually 6 full pair of teeth. But once those fall out, they will die of starvation because they can't chew.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Where'd you get that trivia?
I'm full of useless knowledge today.
They only have 5 teeth in their whole life?
No, 5 sets of teeth.
Oh, 5 sets
right?
of teeth.
Or
Okay.
6 sets of teeth. And once those last ones fall out, though, that's when they die off because most elephants will die of starvation because they can't chew.
Dang. That's awful.
I
always
bad
say,
for the
like, he
elephant.
never brings anything to the show. That was really
That's two.
interesting.
You ever get to a red light and then just go through it because there's no one around?
I did, but they now fixed the light. So now the light is always orange or like yellow blinking. So I can go take a left. But it used to like cycle through like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, there's 2 stoplights I hit every morning that vehicles I've noticed around me roll to a stop and then go if there's nobody there. And they are ones that I'll wait like 2 minutes for it to cycle through. They're really slow cycling. I was just wondering if it's, 3 o'clock in the morning and that red light isn't going to change. Now some of them change because they have light detection, right? And then some will change because I know ones I can flash and they'll change by the time I
just
get there.
picture somebody watching me from command
But there's cameras
center,
on every
from
one of these
HQ.
lights. Yeah.
And then they're like, them watching me through the camera, like, let's see how long she'll wait.
I'm just wondering if that's actually legal. Like, if you know that stoplight is going to take forever, I'm guessing it's not, right? You have to wait for a green. But I see so many vehicles every morning do it. They'll roll up, and they know it's going to be 2 or 3 minutes before that thing changes. And I've yet to roll through it because I know I'm going to be the guy that rolls through and then whoop, whoop.
So I was at a light the other day and I was waiting to turn left and it cycled through 3 times, 4 times, letting all traffic go, not my arrow. And behind me was a trooper. And I'm like, I was going to signal to him like, like how you do it with your mouth with the window. And then it turned green. But I wonder if he would have let us go because he doesn't want to sit there forever. We were there for like 15 minutes.
How do you know? How do you know he's not wrapping up his shift and he's just on his way back? Let's say it's 3 a.m. You get to a red light and you hit it every single freaking morning and it takes 3 minutes every morning for it to cycle back around to you. Do you just have to sit there forever?
Yep, you have to wait, unfortunately. And I have a funny story about it. So I used to be a 911 dispatcher in Fargo, and I worked the night shift. And I got done at 3 in the morning, and I was driving home, and there was no cars anywhere, and it was a red light. And I looked, and I'm like, well, screw it, I'm going to go. I knew it was illegal, but I'm like, well, there's nobody here. No one's going to see, right?
Right.
Yep.
And then I got pulled over by one of my officers that I dispatched for.
So do they know your face or do they only know your voice?
I knew him.
Okay.
But he was darked out and I didn't see him. He was, looking for...
Like you. He was looking for people like you.
Exactly. And so he pulled me over. I'm like, oh, crap. And he comes up to the window and he's like, Jen, what are you doing? I'm like, hey, Joe. He's like,
I'm sorry.
She's like, you can't do that. I'm like, I know. He's like, okay, just go home.
So, like, if no matter what, if that light and you're going to hit it and it's going to cycle through 10 times before it gets to your green light, it is illegal to go on a red.
Yeah.
What if it's broken and it never gets to you? You're literally supposed to sit there for a couple of days?
You're going to sit there until you die.
I'm so glad you're not dramatic.
Well, I appreciate the clarity. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great morning. More winning in the Playhouse Wednesday morning during our live show at 7:05. You can score tickets to see Playboi Carti and The Weeknd this weekend, Saturday, as a matter of fact, at U.S. Bank Stadium. And if you can hang with us while you're working at 8:20, we could put $50,000 in your pocket. So start thinking about that for tomorrow morning. In the meantime, let's wrap up our podcast. Think about getting a free tattoo.
I got a free tattoo. I could not believe it. The guy said, do you want a tattoo?
Just a random...
opened up the side of his van.
No.
He said, it's for free.
Sister's tattoo, it's really infected.
Yeah.
Probably get a little bit of ice on it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
Stick some
ice.
frozen peas on there.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
Oh. You have to keep it in the bag and put the bag on.
It's all free.
The reason I bring this up is the story broke out last weekend. My daughter had gotten a free tattoo when she was 15. And I really thought we raised her better than this. So she had to go get her hip basically broke and then re-put back together. She was a competitive dancer, and then things went sideways. Her labrum ripped and everything like that. So as she's in pre-op, they do a body scan, right?
Yeah.
And they write down everything that's going on. And they had told us, everything's good. She's in surgery. It looks like it's going well. Real quick, though, you guys are aware of this tattoo, right? And it was like on her rib cage. And my wife and I look at each other, and I'm like, no, she's 15. She's like, well, it's on there, and it didn't come off with an alcohol swab, so we know it's on there for real. And the whole time, your daughter's in a 6-hour surgery to repair her hip, and you hope she can walk right for the rest of her life. And all that could go through my head was the 15-year-old angel I raised has desecrated her body with a tattoo. Now, I've got some, and my wife has a couple. So it's not like we're against tattoos, but at 15, so she's just coming out of it. We're like, everything went well. It's going to be great. You got to start rehab like today. And my wife's being the caring, good mother she is. And I go, Reagan, what the hell's going on with this tattoo? And her eyes get big, and she's still pretty doped up. She's like, there's no tattoo. I go, they showed us the tattoo.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, and she admits that they had, one of her friends had gotten the kit on Amazon, and they were doing it in their basement.
That topic, the day you brought that to the air, opened up an underground of high school girls that have purchased those tattoo kits on Amazon.
And I hadn't
so
realized
scary.
that it was the thing. And then we got this text from Miguel. He said a friend of mine went off to college. When he came back to town, he told us about how he got a free stick and poke tattoo in the back of a van from a guy named Oatmeal.
Yeah, oatmeal's work. Right here on my lower back.
So I wanted to know, since Kat and I have both gotten free tattoos, would you?
So both of mine were free. My brother bought me the one on my lower back for my birthday. And then this one on the back of my neck was a gig the other day that I did at a tattoo shop. So
pays to be you.
Pays to be me.
I got one on the air from a tattoo parlor that was just trying to get into business. And then I saw the story. They're saying in Milwaukee right now, it's almost an epidemic of unlicensed tattoo parlors.
Yeah.
And the authorities are saying, please beware of this. Your chance of getting an infection or a disease is so high at these unlicensed tattoo places. They're popping up everywhere for some reason in Milwaukee.
That is so frightening.
And they're saying, come on in, we'll give you a free tattoo. It's like buy one, get one free.
Yeah.
Or if we do a big one, we'll give you another small one for free, or we'll give you a gift card for a free one. Your friend can come in and get one.
And if you think that a tattoo shop that's giving out free tattoos is sanitizing in any way, no. They already have a chip on their shoulder that they have to do all this work for free. So your needle was their needle was their needle. I'd be very cautious.
I'm looking for anyone else because when I brought this up to Kat, I'm like, oh my God, both of us have gotten free tattoos. Is anyone listening somebody who's gotten a free tattoo? How good was it? How bad was it? McDonald's is going to be introducing this summer a S'mores McFlurry, only 460 calories. It's got little chunks of graham, little chunks of chocolate, little chunks of marshmallows.
I can dig it.
And as long as the ice cream machine is working, you can get one starting real soon. So they're thinking, and everyone they kind of beta test this through is saying the taste on this is through the roof.
Really? Are we going to get chunks of stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Chunks blended up. But if you go back to your childhood, what was the one treat that meant it's summer?
A bomb pop.
Oh my God, I was going to say the same thing. Did you get it at the pool?
Yeah, we'd get it at the pool, or my mom would pick up a pack and they'd be in the fridge in the garage. And so we'd just run and get that. We'd have freezies. So you didn't have a fridge in the garage.
Well, no, we for sure didn't have a fridge in the garage. But I do remember going to my friend Jason's house and they had Mr. Freeze pops, right? Like in the freezer. And what you don't realize growing up, not rich like yourself, is the rest of us got what were called flavor ice pops.
Mm-hmm.
And they were flavors like ice or plain.
Were they just different colored ice?
They were the generic, like Mr. Freeze was blue bright blue, red, Hulk green.
Yeah.
Like they were all so tasty. But the Flavor Ice brand that my parents would get were just like so barely tasty. I mean, it was, you wanted one because it was a hot summer day, but there was no taste in them whatsoever. So I would always want to be around a friend's house. What we've got going on in our lives right now, and my wife hit me up for this last weekend, is it was Sunday night, and we've got this little itty bitty gas station about a mile away from our house. They have like the world's best soft serve.
Mm-hmm.
So we're laying there. It's like 8:00 Sunday night, just chilling out, relaxing, getting ready for the week. She's like, I bet you want to go get there. She said, no, the way she says it is very creatively. She's like, boy, it sure would be nice to have some soft serve ice cream right about now. And I said,
I know that trick.
Is that meaning please get off your butt and go get me some soft serve ice cream?
Mm-hmm.
And I would have, but she goes, well, no, that's not really what it means. It's just I wish I had some.
Yeah.
Now, again, it's a 1-minute car ride. Right. And so I thought, you know, it would be fun. Let's talk about, you know, back in the day, you knew it was summer when you got what treat? The other thing that we would always get, frozen Snickers at the pool.
I'm going to try to get Brittany to call because, Brittany, I have a story. I have a story to go along with your yummy memory here.
Amy, real quick, the treat that always means it's summer.
Oh, man. So I'm obsessed with those, like, gourmet s'mores kits, right?
Sure.
We had one for a beach bonfire, and everything was going great until I tried to roast a marshmallow while holding my drink in the same hand.
Oh.
Long story short, the marshmallow caught fire, dropped onto my friend's flip-flop, and melted into it. Her flip-flop was, like, totally destroyed, and I wanted to buy her a new one.
Yeah.
Because, like, I felt totally guilty about it. But then she told me they were, like, designer flip-flops that she paid $300 for. So I just felt absolutely mortified. Like, she told me not to worry about it, but I just felt like a total moron. Dunce.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Brittany, I appreciate you calling. What's the treat that instantly means it's summer for you?
It's the orange push-ups.
Yep. So I have a story with this. My mom had bought 5 and we were supposed to ration them, right?
Right.
And it was such a hot day and I had some friends over and we ate them all. And I didn't want to ditch them in the trash because I figured she was going to go look in the trash and it would trace it back to me. And so I put them all in my sock drawer. And so, and the back of my sock drawer had like a little crack in the back of it. And so it would leak down and like, it just an idiotic thing to do when I was 7.
When you said orange push-ups, it reminded me when Kat was into this, fitness phase a couple years ago, and I came in the studio and I was like, "How many push-ups do you think you could do?" And she's like, 7. I could eat 7 for sure. And I was like, "Oh my God, that's crazy!"
This orange push pop in my mouth.
So, can you still taste this as an adult? And does it take you back to childhood when you get to the very bottom of it and you got to wrap your tongue around that plastic part on the bottom?
For sure.
Yeah,
For sure. It's just, so my grandpa, I was raised on the farm with my grandparents, and my grandpa would take us to the feed mill, and we knew exactly what we were going to get there was the orange push-ups.
Was it a feed mill where you could still get like soda in a glass bottle and then you had to leave it there?
What?
We had a feed mill in the little town I grew up in, and they had an old timey soda machine, and it was only either a dime or a quarter, but it would pop out the glass bottle, and you'd have to pop the top off there. But because they needed to return those, you couldn't leave the feed mill with the soda; you had to pound it there, and we'd always get squirt. Oh, it was so bad.
The orange drink?
No. It was like a lemon lime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Look
apparently,
at we need ice cream in our lives. Like, why do adults just totally nix ice cream? Because we think it's going to make us fat. But look, it makes us so happy just to even talk about it.
Thinking about it. Thanks, Brittany. Have a great morning. I got time for one more real quick. Jason, let's go back in the day.
So, like, growing up, the Choco Taco was the summer treat to beat. It was the best. And I swear, like, the ice cream truck would only show up when I didn't have any cash.
Sure.
But anyway, this one time, I finally had the money, and, like, I ran outside barefoot, and I got a couple Choco Tacos for me and my brother, and I went to run back inside with no shoes on, like, tripped on the hot pavement. and dropped the whole thing on my driveway.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
It was a total epic fail.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And my little brother walked up and asked if he could eat it anyway. It's like, bro, have some respect. But yeah.
Have respect for the Choco Taco. An epic breakup has happened. Donald Trump and Elon Musk are no longer...
They're done.
They're no longer besties.
You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk, and even with the black eye, I said, "Do you want a little makeup? We'll get you a little makeup." But he said, "No, I don't think so," which is interesting. Elon and I had a great relationship. He's worn the hat. Trump was right about everything, and I am right about the great, big, beautiful bill. He said the most beautiful things about it.
Eventually, the fallout happened, and they got mean on Twitter on each other, and then Elon...
Well, once you say he's part of the Epstein files, that's why you haven't seen it. Them's be fighting words, and he went low, and he knew that...
No rebuttal, though.
No rebuttal.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is an odd silence for somebody who usually will take every opportunity to address the media that he can. So we thought, all right, anybody else have one of these epic breakups? And I'm not talking marriage. I'm talking like friendship. Like you were best friends, and then what happened? And I don't want to put shade on the ladies, but not a lot of guys go through this kind of trauma. We've talked about this before. Like I've had straight up fist fights with friends. And then you share a beer at the end of the night.
Yeah. You could hear through the grapevine that someone didn't like your choice of shoes or said something about your kid, and they're done. They're dead to you, and you're so
Instead
easy
of talking about it, you write them off right away.
I know.
And then 3 months go by and you don't talk, and they're like, I don't even know why they're mad at me. Why are they mad at me? I don't even know why they're mad at me. But they stopped talking to me first. Like that kind of stuff happens. And as soon as we started talking about it, Abby called in, and I want to know about your friendship breakup here real quick. Will you tell us?
So I had this friend. We've been friends since we were 5. Like, this is like a childhood friend. Our friendship survived all of these years. But as we started getting older, I noticed that she would just lie a lot. And like we'd be making plans to go out somewhere, and she'd say, "Oh, actually, like I can't go anymore," and cancel last minute and make up some excuse like I'm too tired or whatever. But then I'd see on like Instagram she just went out with another friend.
Oh.
And that kept happening. Like, it's one thing if that only happens once, right? But like it kept happening, and I'm just like, if you don't want to hang out with me, then just say that, but you don't have to keep lying about it, Like,
right.
I just felt like we had been friends for too long for her to just be like making stuff up like that. And at first I was like, is there something wrong with me? Like, am I a bad friend? Like, am I not fun when we're like going out or whatever? But eventually I'm like, you know what? I'm 25 now. Like, I just don't have time, space, and energy for friends like that anymore.
That happens.
I feel like, I want to prioritize my wellness and my emotional health and social health, and I just feel like I don't have the space for that anymore. And I talked to her about it, and I thought we could have a mature conversation about it, but unfortunately she just like completely blew up at me, and in a way I've literally never seen her do before, and I don't have time for it anymore. And I honestly, it was hard at first, but I feel like I'm better off because of it now.
When these kind of things happen, usually it's like a 36 or a 48-hour pain, and then you're like, yep, I'm better off the way I am.
Right. This, I think it was probably a good week because we've been friends for a really long time, and, letting go of a friendship is really hard, but I think that's just, unfortunately, just part of growing up and being a mature adult, which is something that I'm learning.
Well, and now you have us, so...
Right, exactly. So do I even need her?